cut, but I just liked it too much and I kept it in. But in any case, among all the many, many sentences that make up this very, very large book, there's one in particular that is my absolute favorite. And I just think it's a particularly well-written sentence. I think it has a lot of literary merit, and I hope you agree with me. So, are you ready to hear my absolutely favorite sentence from Brissinger? Yes. Yeah? Die, puny human! Read things outside your comfort zone, because you will learn more from things that are unfamiliar for you than you will from things that you thoroughly understand. Two, learn everything you can about the language you're writing in. Language is the tool of the trade, and as boring as diagramming sentences and learning all about grammar is, the better you understand it, the better you'll be able to get what's in your head onto the page into someone else's head. 3, write every single day. It's like playing a musical instrument. If you don't practice, you will not get good at it. You do not wait for inspiration. I get inspiration about once every 3 months. In the meantime, I write. I write on weekends, I write on holidays, I write on my birthday. I do take Christmas off. If you're in the hospital, you better be writing unless you're in a coma. Seriously, write. 4, or whatever number we're on. Write about whatever it is you care about the most. Don't let other people tell you what you should or shouldn't write. Writing a book is often very hard. I won't lie to you, it's often very hard. But if you truly care about the subject material, that'll help you get through the rough spots. And I don't care if you want to write about flying toasters or singing unicorns or anything like that. There are over 6 billion people on this planet. Whatever it is you are interested in, through sheer mathematical odds, there are plenty of other people out there who are interested in the same things as you. So write about what you love. Next number, 6, 27, I don't care, 42. Find someone in your life, teacher, family member, librarian, someone who is a good reader, someone who likes the genre you're writing in, someone who can look at what you've written and tell you what you've done wrong. As painful as it is, I guarantee you will learn more from editing than you ever will from just writing. Again, it's like music. It's very hard sometimes to hear when you hit a bad note when you're singing, which is why even the best singers have voice coaches. That's exactly what an editor is for a writer, a voice coach. They tell you when you're off key. Sometimes they're wrong, but that's usually only about 10% out of 100 that they're wrong. The rest of the time, do what your editor tells you to. Also, this does not work for everyone, but it works very much for me, so I highly recommend it. Work out the plot of your story beforehand. I cannot write if I don't know where the story is going. Again, I come back to music. It's very difficult to compose a piece of music while you're performing it. So first you compose it, and then you can concentrate on performing it as beautifully as possible. And that is what writing is. It is a performance for other people. If it's not for other people, who cares? Do whatever you want. But if it is, if you want other people to enjoy it, you want it to be a good performance. And lastly, but not the least by far, lastly, try to have fun. You don't have to have fun every single day, but try to have fun more days than not. Told you I was going to vomit words. So I'll read anything. Except, well, no, I'm not going to say anything bad up here. Never mind. To again, plot your story out beforehand. That way, when you sit down to write, you're not trying to figure out what you're trying to write. You're just trying to figure out how to write what you already know you need to write. But 2, the way you plot a book is twofold. 1, you think of variation. You don't want a song where it's always the same volume. You want variation in sound. You want variation in complexity. That's what's known as pacing. Everyone likes different kinds of pacing, so you do what feels right to you. But the other main thing is you ask yourself questions. And that's how you create a world. That's how you create a character. That's how you create a story. In my case, I said, what if a young man found a dragon egg out in the middle of the forest? What kind of a world would a dragon live in? How did the young man come to be in the forest? How did the dragon egg get there in the forest? Since dragon eggs can't be that common, who else would be looking for the dragon egg? Just trying to answer those questions resulted in over about 3,000 published pages, and probably more in the future. So questions, asking yourself questions, and then answering them as honestly as you can. That's how you write. I have no trouble starting stories. For some reason, it's very easy for me. Basically, the rule of thumb is you start a story when your main character's life begins to change. Change is interesting. Monotony is boring. Therefore, you give just enough space for us to get an idea of what your character's life is like, and then you change it as soon as possible. I call it the James Bond principle. Think of every James Bond movie. Every single James Bond film, almost every single James Bond film, starts with an action sequence, which sometimes has nothing to do with the rest of the film. So you start with a bang, you hook the audience, you have your title sequence, and then you can start into the rest of the story. And that's pretty much what I tried to do. And I can recite from memory every single opening sentence from the books. Wind howled through the night, carrying a scent that would change the world. I mean, if that's not a big opening sentence, I don't know what is. The songs of the dead are the lamentations of the living. Well, this won't be a cheery book. Aragon stared at the dark tower of stone, wherein hid the monsters who had killed his uncle Garrow. I think that's it. Okay, this is a revenge story. This is going to be battle. That's pretty good. The dragon Saphira roared, and the men before her quailed. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a battle book, and I think there are more battles in the last book than every single book before it. So, I don't know. You choose something interesting, exciting, and run with it. That's all. I just start with the beginnings I want to read.